Greetings everyone, today we are checking out Six Flags Great Escape, or I should say Great Escape, a Six Flags theme park. I think the locals prefer it that way. This is in upstate New York, near the Lake George, Glens Falls area. This is actually the first park on our trip that I have been to before, and what I can tell you is there's not going to be a ton of coasters, but they do have a little bit of charm and old storybook miniature style items that we'll go check out. The entrance area is a nice little village shop section. Like I said, it's got a little bit of charm here. Flashback is the park's Vekoma boomerang coaster. This one is wrapped to Twix. It's gonna pull you backwards up this lift. And as you can see, they're just running a test run right now. It's empty. After you go through it forward, it'll send you through the entire course backwards again. You've probably seen a few of these in some of my other videos because Six Flags loves the boomerang. The only thing that Six Flags likes more than a boomerang is a Larson looper. This one here is called Grease Lightning, and it's similar to all the other ones. If you are looking to catch Bigfoot, you can take out this nice Chevy pickup off-road and find them, or you can take a ride on this S&S drop tower, which is called Sasquatch. It's 192 feet tall, gives you a nice view of the mountain area around it before letting you fall down back to the earth. In Thunder Alley, you get to drive fancy little hot rods. These cars here are on a powered rail, so you aren't really the one that's pushing the gas pedal to drive them, or steer them. The last time I was here, they had these cute little swan boats that loaded here that you could ride through this little river channel, under some bridges, and around this section of the park. It doesn't look like it's been open this year. Hopefully they bring them back someday. It was a nice, peaceful little ride that anyone could enjoy. Back at Great America, I said we might get to see one of these in action. This is Condor. It's a Huss ride, and essentially it's kind of like a scrambler that takes you up in the air. The cars also tilt, so it's a fun ride that you don't see a ton of out there. Adirondack Outlaw is the park's fun time Vomitron ride. It's a crazy spinning ride where you sit on either end, giant arms that spin you in the air. When you get over the top, you flip upside down once you get the speed. And, sometimes you're upside down, sometimes you're right side up. You don't know what's going on. It's definitely a ride for thrill seekers. I say if you're afraid of heights that a fun time Vomitron is not the ride for you, and that's especially because while loading, essentially halfway through your cycle when the other side's getting loaded, you just stay at the top and it's open air and you're way up in the air, and it's a little bit scary, so it's definitely the scariest part of the ride if you ask me. Screamin' Demon is the park's Arrow looping coaster. It features a vertical loop and 2 corkscrews. Pretty common ride out there. A little bit of head shaking, but you'll survive. The Ghost Town area is certainly the most themed area of the park. This is the queue for the Desperado Plunge. Nothing too crazy, but there's some theming. Desperado Plunge is the park's log flume attraction, and as you know, when there's a log flume, we ride the log flume. Most of this takes you kind of towards backstage areas that they try to hide with some western town walls, so it's nice that there's some theming. It's probably one of, if not the best themed ride at the park. There were also 3 moving animatronics that I saw inside the building you can see up here at the final plunge. There's not a huge drop on this ride. This is the biggest one there is there throughout the ride, but it's still a fun thing to hop on, and you don't get soaked either. You'll get a few drops of water on you, so hop on the log flume if you're a log flume person. On the way out of Desperado Plunge, they've got some old pictures here. Some of still existing attractions, some of no longer existing attractions. My favorite, of course, is the Definitely Not Dumbo water spray pad. Canyon Blaster is the park's Arrow Mine Train coaster. We know it's a mine train coaster because right there is a train. And the roller coaster train is themed like mine cars. This is great for the whole family because it's certainly not too intense of a ride. This is probably the second best themed ride here at the park. It does have some props throughout, and you're not going to get much faster than what you see here. So again, it's good for anyone in the family. It concludes with this pretty long triple helix, I would call it. Timbertown is a pretty kids area, and it features a Zamperla mine train coaster, kiddie coaster in the back. The Skyride takes you over to the front area of the park with those little Storybook fairy tale buildings, and it's not a transportational ride. It'll just take you on a full circuit back to where you start on the end here. There goes the train, little train. Blizzard is an indoor scrambler ride. It is cold in there just like a blizzard because there's AC. There's also music and lights, so scrambler rides are always a lot better when they're indoors like this. Pandemonium here is not a roller coaster like most Pandemoniums. It's a chance ride, similar to the Wipeout, except it's a little bit tighter of a radius and you sit facing outward. Cannonball Express is the park's classic musical express ride, and just like the name would imply, or the type of ride, Music Express, there is some nice bumping tunes on this ride, and you get to slide into whoever's sitting on the outside there. There's a lot of force that throws you right to the side of the seat. Like many Six Flags parks, there's more than one kids area. There's kind of a small secondary kids area by the the Cannonball Express over here. Raging River is the park's river rapids ride, probably the third best themed ride in the park. And unlike the log flume, you are guaranteed to get pretty soaked on this one. Alpine Bobsled is the park's Intamin bobsled coaster. This is a coaster I forgot was actually at this park. You ride in single cars and slide around and float around like a bobsled. These aren't too common, so hop on if you can. Just note it is a pretty slow dispatch process, not necessarily at the fault of the operators, so be prepared to wait in line for this one. Hey, it's Steve jumping in with a quick voiceover here. About a week after filming this video, Six Flags announced that the Alpine Bobsled Coaster will be closing forever on September 4th, so that's Labor Day, September 4th, 2023, will be your last opportunity to ride this. I don't think you need to rush out here if you've never been on it, but if you really need the credit, you don't have much time left. Now, Great Escape is smart because while they have a go-kart track, it is not open. Nestled in the back of the park here, we have this gem, the Comet, an old rickety wooden coaster. And when I say old, I mean originally it was built in 1948 and located at Crystal Beach. It was relocated to Great Escape in the 1990s. And when we say wood coaster, the track is wood, but if you look at the support structure closely here, you're going to find that the support structure is actually steel. And I'm honestly not sure if that happened when it got relocated here, or if it's always been steel. So if you do know the answer to that, let me know. Let us all know. Extreme Supernova is a little swinging, spinning pendulum ride, and it is currently closed at the moment. Saw them cleaning. I'm not sure if someone threw up or what. But anyway, I have been on this before, and with the tight arc, tight pendulum, it actually packs a little bit of a punch. It's more like riding a big kid's swing ride, like at the playground. Hurricane Harbor is the water park here at Six Flags Great Escape, and this is one of the water parks that's actually in the park. It's about halfway or 3/4 of the way into the park to get to. It's also got two different sides to it. They enter both from inside the amusement park side, and it features between the two a wave pool, lazy river, tornado slide, some of the typical water parks you got. It's a half decent water park. This is actually one of the water parks I have been to. We won't be visiting today though. The big covered games area here near the center of the park is in fact actually all open here at Great Escape. You can win some of the best Pokemon at this game. This park originally opened as Storytown, USA, long before it was a Six Flags park. So let's check out some of those storybook elements that we can find here at the park. You can enter a lot of these storybook houses if you are a child or if you have a child, but not if you're over 54 inches tall on your own. Look at this, Lincoln Log Cabin number 33. Doesn't have any sign saying we can't go in. So we're gonna go in. Oh, We got the Three Little Pigs story here, right? Little Red Riding Hood? Not the Three Little Pigs. No pigs, just a wolf. Some more old-time photos in here. Well, definitely a great way to make your kids freaked out and never want to come back here. Anyone care to go inside? Perfectly not scary at all. Everyone is welcome in Ghost Town, though. Is this your laughing place? Let's head inside. Here we are in Ghost Town. Great Escape is a fairly hilly and was once fairly inaccessible, but Six Flags has done what it can, like add more accessible bridges and some pit stops along some hills in the park. But do note, it is still a very hilly park, so if you need assistance navigating hilly terrain, you're going to want to bring that assistance with you. Lunch at Charlie Saloon here. I got something I haven't gotten at Six Flags again. We got a pulled pork mac and cheese, which overall isn't bad. The pulled pork's a little better than the others I've had at Six Flags. I'm not sure if that's just because it was fresh out of the warmer or what, but it was tolerable. And then the mac and cheese is kind of middle of the road, so on Six Flags standards, pretty good meal. And the free water cups here are pretty fancy. Look at that. There is a lodge right next door with an indoor water park that is open year-round. Alright, and that's going to do it for our day at Six Flags Great Escape, or Great Escape, a Six Flags theme park, depending what you prefer to call it. This is definitely a park that is nice to visit if you enjoy and appreciate some charm and a little bit of old school stuff. However, if you are someone that's more of a thrill seeker, coaster rider, you might not want to make this your top priority to visit. Also though, if you are local to the area, it is someplace nice to visit as well. If you only want to ride the coasters, you only need to be here for about a couple hours. If you want to explore the whole park rides-wise, maybe half a day. If you're trying to do the whole park and water park section, maybe you can make a full day out of it. Or stopping in if you're in the area. Thanks so much for watching. And of course, you're going to exit through retail. That's right, the park exit is a gift shop. Yep, it's still scary up there. Still scary.